Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Road America, America's National Park of Speed, as we get set for PSSA. Ralph Shaheen, Ben Sissel with you. Great way to kick the day off, Ben.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there. We had one of the prettiest sunsets I've ever seen last night here at the track, and that's usually a good hint to some good weather here. When we were loading in, you can see some clouds in the background there, but when we were loading in, we had heard of rain, possibility of rain at the end of today, and it doesn't look like that right now. So it should be a really good day with PSSA on track here for their second feature race.
Basically looking at two variations of race car here. You got the Revolutions and the Radicals.
Yeah, so the three cars up front are the Revolutions. The two front with those flat rear wings are the Evo, the new Revolution Evos. And then Hinojosa is in the Revolution in PS1. Then we've got Rafe Baskin, Farouz, Hagihi, and Keith Taylor. So there were 7 yesterday and only 6 today. So 3 Revolutions and 3 Radicals. And this will be kind of the Radicals just don't have the engines of the Revolution. So the Radicals will be in their own race and the Revolutions in theirs, but we got some great shots at the go-kart track there.
Yeah, it's busy over there. I believe John Ulmer is the one car that didn't make the call here this morning. He had some issues yesterday, so that could explain that.
Yeah, so it's Ron Fletcher in the number 47 Batman car up front, then Zach Mosley, Chris Hinojosa, Rafe Baskin, Farouz Hagihi, and Keith Taylor. And we saw Keith Taylor and Farouz going at it yesterday. They were actually probably the best race on the track.
Oh, no doubt about it. There were some corners they changed position twice. So that'll be one fun one to keep an eye on.
And then you can see a shot there of the kink. What I think is the scariest corner that we see all year. And, you know, ironically, the second scariest, I think, is turn 10 at Sonoma, and they're very similar. Just a gradual, high-speed right-hander with a giant wall on the left.
Yeah, and the thing about this one here, and I can back up what you're saying because I've raced here and have gone through that kink in a race, and it gets your attention, not just the first lap, every lap. You know, I mean, you're coming straight at that cement wall, and then you just turn to the right.
And it's a blind turn, so you don't know if somebody's sideways in front of you until it's too late. In fact, I believe the worst TA2 wreck that I've seen with leaders was here in, I believe, 21 or 20 with at the kink.
Catherine Legg had a huge wreck there in an Indy car.
So did our friend Scott Goodyear. Scott Goodyear wants his formula groups to do the motorcycle part, but it's not FIA approved. Here we go.
Up the hill they come. Flag stand is up to the sky and their left as they come underneath the bridge. Waiting for the green. There we go, and we're racing here on a beautiful Sunday of Road America.
Rafe Baskin wisely just gets right behind Hinojosa, kind of block, because the draft is so important, and they fall in line, looks like in order, through turn 1.
Fletcher taking the lead as they sweep through 1, down the hill through 2, which is kind of a bend, to turn 3. Now you start picking up speed and the draft as you come down through the Moraine sweep. And Ben, you're immediately, as soon as you come under that bridge, you're thinking about you're braking in your line for turn 5 right here. Challenge for the lead on the outside. Oh, he went in deep, cooked it. He's not going to get the pass done, and he might lose second place, and does, as Hinojosa moves by as they make their way to turn 6.
That happens all the time, and I have to commend Zach Mosley for keeping it together, but it's a risk worth taking, I believe, just because Ron Fletcher took off yesterday, so he wanted to just make this, you know, maybe a low probability pass on the outside of 5 because Fletcher was running really well, but I probably would have advised him to do the same thing. But now he's got to get around Hinojosa.
Sweeping out of the carousel. How much courage did you bring with you to the track today as you head towards the kink?
Quite a bit. They look like they're flat through there.
Yep. Down through Kettle Bottoms here. Maybe a pass for the lead as we set up for Canada corner. Fletcher starting to stretch it out. Hinojosa still doing everything he can to keep Mosley behind him.
No, Mosley passed him there at
Canada
11. Just before Canada. So Ron Fletcher in the Batman car, just like yesterday. Then Mosley. Mosley had the lead for a little bit. Hinojosa.
So will Mosley now be able to reel in Fletcher? He's pulling away from Hinojosa pretty quickly, but Fletcher had opened up a sizable lead here just inside of 3 seconds. So that's what we'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, now he's got to hit all of his marks, keep those Hankook tires underneath him, and almost like he's out there just trying to set a fast time. That's really the only way he can close this gap on Fletcher. And then will Fletcher, kind of seeing him in his mirror, will he let his guard down a little bit and maybe not try so hard to hit his marks and kind of not run the fastest line, but just kind of run a comfortable line?
We say it all the time. It is much easier to be the chaser than the chasee.
Mm-hmm.
You have that carrot out in front of you. You can start focusing on the backside of that race car and just digging to get it. Through turn 6 and 7.
From that vantage point, you can really see the racing line, how it's just worn into the tarmac.
Yep. Through hurry downs over to turn 8. And here you go at the carousel. So long, they basically gave it 2 corners, Ben.
Yeah. Such a difficult corner to get correct and to be fast. But you're also just wearing out those left side tires on the carousel.
I think Mosley's gaining a little bit of ground here. Not a ton, but he seems to be pushing pretty hard.
Just based on times, it looks like the Taylor and Ferruz, the Keith Taylor and Ferruz Agihi, is the fight to watch back there in the radicals, because they're just looks like they're neck and neck according to the time.
They can't get rid of each other.
So there's Mosley.
All right, so it was just inside of 3 seconds last time by. He is definitely close.
Oh yeah.
He might have cut that in half.
Yeah,
Let's
it started at the carousel.
Yeah, he really got through the carousel well, didn't he?
But it looks like Fletcher might have, for some reason, higher top-end speed, but from my eyes, they're in the same car.
Yes, he did. Ben, he cut it to within a second, 0.8 of a second, the gap between first and second. That was a huge lap by Mosley. So here's Taylor and Ferruz in that fight for 5th. Taylor's still out in front, but boy, not by much. Ferruz in the draft, headed to 1. Not going to attempt it this time, but maybe Ben setting himself up for a move going into turn number 5.
Maybe
Thinking
3.
about it at 3. Why wait for 5 when you can get it done at 3? And he does. Beautiful textbook pass, and I guarantee you Taylor wasn't thinking that's where it was going to happen.
Yeah, but once he saw him, he gave him room. That was really
Smart.
good racing. It looks like these two have raced together before. That shot at turn 1 with the cottonwoods, it almost looks like it's snowing, but I promise you, it's not snowing out there. It's very warm. Here's the leaders.
If it snows here today, we've all witnessed a miracle. Some of these drone shots, I don't know if I'm supposed to look at the go-kart track or look at what's going on the big track. So much racing going on here at Road America today.
So Hinojosa through the kink. Uh-oh.
We have a battle for the lead. Mosley all over the rear wing of Fletcher. pop over the hill and into turn 14. If Fletcher was nervous before, he's got to be shaking in his boots now because Mosley is really applying the pressure. Up the hill, underneath the flag stand. Let's see what the gap is. Cut down another half a second. He's got it to within 0.3.
Yeah, and Ron wasn't pulling away on the straightaway as he did the last time. So I think Mosley is better in the twisty bits of Road America. That's where he's gaining his ground from Canada corner up to 14. But look at this. We might have a pass for 5.
Yep, that's where he had a big bobble before, but can he maybe right the ship here? Looking outside going to 5. That is the hard way around that corner. On the brakes, looks like Mosley's going to go a little deeper. That's going to be the difference. He still cooked the brakes and went wide, but they come right alongside of each other, but I think they just stayed off of each other.
Yeah, that was incredible. Ron Fletcher hit his marks, was going on the faster line. Every once in a while, though, like I said, Mosley will be able to pull that off. But now Ron knows where he wants to pass.
Yeah.
So he's going to guard 5 like he did. Mosley might be a little bit upset that he didn't give him re-entry, but if you go off the track, it's Ron Fletcher can run his normal race line.
Mosley very good through the carousel and through the kink, which is where they are right now.
Man, that looks fast.
Down to Canada corner. They start working their way back towards start-finish line. Nose to tail, Mosley right up underneath them. Here they come popping up into view as they head up turn 14.
Mosley is 0.9 of a second faster than Ron Fletcher.
Trying to work the draft here this time up the front straightaway. The gap between first and second is just dead even. They are right there. So let's see if Mosley can get a good run through 1 and down through 3, maybe make a difference at 5. You got to expect Fletcher to protect the inside, though. This was the attempt to pass the last time. And you can see Mosley had him, but he just cooked it in too far like he did before and just didn't have the room coming back on the track.
And had those two gone and hit each other, that would have been on Mosley for an unsafe re-entry. Here they go.
Down to 5 again. Not in position this time.
Maybe at 8. Seemed like Paul Menard yesterday in the TA race really liked to pass on the inside at 8.
Yeah, he did. Inside of 17 and a half minutes to go. Again, you're watching the Prototype Sprint Series Association, PSSA, presented by Hankook. All the cars racing on Hankook tires here this weekend, as they do each and every race weekend.
These are our 2 champions. Ron Fletcher, our 2023 champion, received a set of tires and $10,000 cash. Last year, Zach Mosley. So these are good rivals here. We've only had 2 championships, and these are our 2 champions.
They know each other well. It looks like we might have an attempt to pass to Canada. Mosley looked inside. Now the outside, which becomes the inside. Back to the outside. Oh, and around he goes. Mosley just throwing everything at Fletcher, and once again, he ran out of space, time, traction, all the above.
The other T adjective that we say sometimes, but we don't want to, right?
Yeah.
So now it's going to be, was Ron Fletcher having so much fun that he's going to wait on his friend and rival Zach, or he's going to take off? Sometimes we see that because they just love having that. But he's also here kind of testing, working with this new Evo. The first time we saw it was last year at Spring Mountain.
So Mosley comes back by us here. He's now 12 seconds behind Fletcher. But, Ben, He's got 15 and a half minutes to get that done. And don't forget, earlier in the race, he clipped off 2.5 seconds, no problem, in one lap.
Yeah.
Let's take another look at it. Here they come into Canada. At the last second, he dives to the outside, and that's where he made his mistake. He just got anxious.
Yeah, and it looks to me like he might have gotten caught up in a little bit of aero wash. He might have lost some of that downforce on the front end there with those canards, just enough to give him some traction loss and make that rear end sweep around. But his best time is 0.8 of a second faster, 0.9 of a second faster than Ron Fletcher. And now Ron Fletcher,
if he starts clipping off a second or so on a lap with 15 minutes to go here, he could get one more shot at it.
yeah, he might be there for the white flag lap.
But what you have to wonder, too, is he's put a lot of stress on those Hankook tires.
Yeah, and then where is Fletcher going to meet lap traffic? Because if Fletcher meets lap traffic, around the carousel or something like that, that might slow him down.
Speaking of the carousel, there they go. To the kink. Hang on, deep breath, hold it, got through. That is such a battle between your brain and your right foot. Because your brain is going, what are you thinking?
Yep.
And your right foot is going, I'm thinking we're staying flat.
So there's our lap traffic. So that's not going to be an issue because they're coming through 6 right now, and he's in between Canada corner and 14. So it may be an issue right at the white flag, but it's not going to be an issue here soon to make Mosley make up a lot of time.
That's the biggest gap I've seen between Ferruz and Taylor all weekend, and it looks like it's about a second and a half, maybe just around 2 seconds as they run 5th and 6th.
Different lines through the carousel, though. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Ferruz is kind of running that middle.
So Mosley, 13.75. So he lost a little time on that last lap.
Yeah, you might be right. He might have lost a little bit of grip in the tires.
Wore
he might
the
have
goodie
flat
off.
spotted.
You wear that goodie off, you got not much left, right?
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see. Or he might just be checking everything, talking on the radio to his crew, telling them what happened. But there wasn't contact.
Oh, no. No, they've raced very hard here today. And there's a couple of times, especially that one coming out of 5, where they were right alongside of each other with Mosley going over those big rumble strips and just even not wanting to make contact. Those rumble strips can move your car around. And now all of a sudden Taylor has closed right back up on Ferruz, and we have a fight for 5th again. Under the flag stand, headed to 1. Ferruz running the quicker line. Taylor looking inside and 1. Nope, not this time.
I think he was just trying to get in his mirrors, trying to distract him a little bit. But if he can get behind him, we might see something here at 5, Ralph.
And that's a great place to do that, Ben, going into turn number 1, because turn 1 can suck you right in. It's easy to think you can go a little bit deeper, and then you end up in that big sand patch over there. Taylor too far back here, going to 5 this time. Ferruz, nice, comfortable line through there in that 007.
Keith Taylor staying right behind him, though.
Fletcher just ran a 2:12.6. There goes Mosley with an 11.4. So Mosley has found his rhythm again.
Yeah, he ran a 2:09. That's his best time.
So he has cut it down to 11 and a half seconds. So he took almost 2 seconds off that last lap.
So last lap, Ron ran a 2:12 and Zach ran a 2:10.
They've got just a tick inside of 11 minutes to go, Ben. What do you think?
I don't know. It depends on if they meet this lap traffic, but I think the lap traffic is far enough ahead. But anything can happen because, Ron Fletcher miss an apex and, you know, struggle to get back on the track somewhere.
Sometimes when you're out front and everything's going super smooth, you get too comfortable with it. There's Baskin tipping a wheel at turn 2, headed to 3. He's got the lead in class with all the radicals. 4th overall. Headed over to turn 5. Ferruz and Taylor crossed the finish line.
Ooh, I heard a little bit of a lockup there.
Yeah. Like a 126.5 to a 120. No. 222 to a 223.
Yeah, but I don't know if Ron Fletcher's going to be able to catch this lap traffic in time for it to be meaningful in any way.
For Mosley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Ron Fletcher's race to lose, basically.
It is. And it'd have to be honest, it'd have to be a sizable mistake. Fletcher crosses the line now. I think he's going to. Oh, look at this. Taylor inside at 5. Makes the pass. We have a new 5th place car. Mosley across the line. Let's take a look at the replay here, how that pass got done. Taylor dipped inside. Ferruz gave him all the room he needed, and I'll have to try to find a way back around him.
They are staying together, though. Ferruz running the faster line out of the carousel. Can he hold it to the kink and try to make a pass before Canada?
Mosley did not pick up enough speed on that last lap, Ben, to cut that gap close enough to really make you think he's charging. He's got 8.5 minutes left to go, and he's 11.3 seconds behind. Oh, smoked by Taylor. Looked like he might have gone a little deep into the corner at Canada. Through Thunder Valley now. We'll see him pop up over the rise as they come through 13. There they are, setting up for 14 now, the final corner. So important to get a good run up the front straightaway.
Looks like Ferruz took the faster line through there. Now it's just, can he get behind in the draft and get sucked in before turn 1?
He's definitely got the draft. Peeking inside at 1. This could be beautifully executed by Ferruz. Yes, that is exactly how you get it done at turn 1 of Road America. And he carried a lot of speed through 1 and gave himself about a half a second or more gap back to Taylor by the time they got to 3.
Yeah, I feel like Taylor had to just kiss his brakes just a little bit. And he saw him there on the side. It was a textbook pass. Taylor knew he was there. And now can Taylor get back at him?
So Fletcher just crossed the line as the back end of the field was coming into the Moraine sweep. So with 7 minutes to go, I think Fletcher will get to them. It's just a matter of when and how quick does he get through. Mosley's across the line, had a pretty good lap, showing 10.8 seconds back. So he picked up a good half a second, maybe a little bit more on that last lap. He's going to need a lot more than that with 6.5 minutes to go.
Ron Fletcher, though, he's a tough one to rattle. He's just out there. I'm sure Jason's telling him, just hit your marks, relax. Let it come to you. All right, where is Taylor going to get back at Ferruz here? You think he's going to go Canada, or you think he's going to try for something at turn 1?
I think he likes turn 5, which means you got to get through 1 right, because it all links together, right? If you get a good run through 1, down through 3, then you carry all that speed through the Moraine sweep. It's really good under braking here at Canada. Picked up some space there. Chipped away at it.
But you're right, that pass started with Taylor locking up just slightly at Canada corner.
Yeah.
But he's right behind him.
He's on him now, and he's right in his wheel tracks working that draft. You have plenty of time up this long front straightaway to think about where you want to make a move. Not in striking distance going into one, but that's okay. Look how he closes up right at the apex of one. Now they begin the run downhill through the bend at turn 2, and he's even closer going to 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's setting himself up for 5 again.
Yeah. Here he comes. Moraine sweep as we go under the Sargento Bridge. He's in a good spot if he wants to make a run at him.
We are white flag on the 4-7 next time by.
Not quite close enough this time.
Ferruz is running a very good line.
Yeah, he's protecting the position well, but he's still running very fast line.
But man, Taylor is good on the brakes.
Here's Hinojosa, 3rd overall. Really like the look of these.
Yeah, and I prefer
Revolutions.
This Revolution over the Evo. I just like that rear wing like that.
Yeah,
it just matches the body contours. May not be as fast, but it looks better. So it's, which is more important to you?
Right. Being the style guy that you are.
Yeah, and I'm not a good enough driver for a wing to make a difference.
Well, there is that too, right? Okay, here's that fight for 5th. Nothing changed there yet.
Okay, so Fletcher's coming up to take the white flag. You can see the starter getting ready to display the white flag.
Oh, looking inside. Taylor at 1. No. Fletcher across the line.
So we're on the
white flag is out.
Last lap for Fletcher.
That's going to take all the wind right out of the sails of Mosley. Cut it down to 9.5 seconds. So Mosley still putting in very, very good laps, but on the white flag lap, 4 miles just isn't going to be enough to make up 9 seconds.
Anything can happen. But
That it can.
I would bet against that.
Well, the bat signal is out at the start-finish line on this one. Just bring it home, Fletcher.
There's the lap traffic.
Yeah.
So that could happen between 12 and 14.
Right around Canada corner, maybe.
And Ron needs to be aware the car behind him is not a threat. And these two are in their own race, so they might not be looking in their mirrors for him.
Yep. Don't do anything silly now.
Ron is smart. He'll just let them go through 14.
Yeah.
And then he'll make a pass.
Get him on the front stretch. He doesn't look like he's pressing too hard to get around. Oh, we got one off here.
Or he could let these two have another lap.
That's Baskin on the inside, who is leading that category.
So this is now for second.
It's now for first and second in category, right?
Yeah, in the radicals.
Ferruz leading up the hill. Taylor right behind him. Fletcher coming for the overall win. He gets it.
Now, had Fletcher not pass them, they'd still be racing.
Right. But Ferruz will get the win in the radical category, with Taylor finishing second behind them. And unfortunately for Baskin, who led the whole thing, he ends up third in category, 6th overall. And Mosley clipped it down even further to 8.7 seconds. So unfortunately for him, he was very quick today, just couldn't put it all together.
Yeah. And Rafe looks like he had some kind of a mechanical there and pulled off right in front of the corner worker station on driver's right inside, where we could just do a local yellow instead of a full course caution.
And we thank him for that. And Hinojosa will finish third in category with the Revolutions and third overall. There's a look at the results page. As a Prototype Sprint Series Association, also known as PSSA, presented by Hankook, wraps up their weekend here at Road America. They're done for the day, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it for them. A couple of good races over the course of the weekend, and Fletcher will make his way over to Victory Circle here at America's National Park of Speed. Once Fletcher got out front, the Batmobile, there was a couple of good attempts by Mosley here at 5. Just got a little too deep there. Then lost the spot to Hinojosa as well. And this was a fight which ultimately ended up for the win in the radical category between Ferruz and Taylor. And here's Mosley again at 5. Thought he was going to have the shot at the lead back. Look how close they got to almost touching there. And with that, Ron Fletcher ends up taking the lead and the win with our Prototype Sprint Series Association. We'll be back for more from Road America shortly.
Up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.